first ask Paul Beckett this question. What do we make of this, what I think is a bizarre story coming out of Florida, and the way the media has covered it? Because we've given this guy his 15 minutes of fame.
I disagree with your premise that Islamophobia has grown around the world. I think you have a series of coincidences and coincidental events. If it wasn't for this guy in Florida, you've had the President of the United States, the Secretary of State of the United States, the Defense Secretary of the United States, the head of mission in Afghanistan, all saying, don't do it. We have to respect Islam. We have to, you're way off base. If it wasn't for him, none of this other stuff would even be in the news.
Why? You also have the controversy over the mosque in Ground Zero. You have polls that show that most Americans are against it.
September 11th is an extremely emotive topic in the United States. Right? So you're dealing with something that is very specific. To say that we're around the world, Muslims are suddenly on the front lines of people's hate, I think it's just nonsense. I think you have, if anything in the United States right now, there are as many people who are saying, why do they hate us, as why do we hate them? Right? You had Iraq, you have Afghanistan, you have this really self-examination in the United States to say, is there something that we did that brought this on ourselves? And a lot of people are concluding yes. So set aside the Islamophobia. If you take this guy in Florida, I mean, yes, the media is to blame, sure. It's been a quiet summer. The guy, 2 years ago, 2008, there was a church in Texas that burned the Quran.
Nobody noticed that.
Tree fell in the forest, nobody heard it, right? This time around, they lined up. The guy had 150 interviews last month. So yeah, it's a slow summer for news. They're all sitting there. It's an emotive topic, but I wouldn't take that and therefore extrapolate from it that this is.
But it's not just that. That's like I said. It is about the 9/11 Islamic Center. The center. You have the things that are happening in Europe as well. Professor Hassan, what's your take on how the world is looking at Islam today, especially the West?
I disagree with him. I think there's no question about Islamophobia growing not just in the United States but also worldwide, and the fact that the President or the Secretary of State has taken this reasonable position doesn't necessarily suggest that the generality of opinion on certain matters connected with Islam or with the Muslim communities is any different, in the sense that after 9/11, certainly there has been a heightening of animosity, prejudice, demonization, and you see evidence of that. And what we see now is really symptomatic of what is developed into this passion against Islam. There are lots and lots of incidents that one could cite from different parts of the world. So I think the important thing is to recognize that there is a problem, and to really try and find corrective measures to try and allay certain fears that he talks about. I think the question is not just why others hate the United States. The question is also why the Iraqis hate the Americans, or why the Afghans hate the Americans, or why large sections of the Muslim population worldwide think that the United States has done incalculable damage to whatever values they stand for, and have undermined the sovereignty of many independent nations. And one can go on. So I think the important thing is to come together and sort out what might one call, for want of a better expression, the existing misunderstandings or misconceptions about each other.